Wonderful. First of
Well,
all, I do want to say that I'm such a big fan of both of you. Gaten,
thank
you
you.
Thanks.
you were just here in Salt Lake City.
Yes, I was. You're in Salt Lake.
Yeah,
Very cool.
I'm part of the Fan X thing.
Oh, cool. That was a good show.
Dan loves you guys, by the way. Just absolutely loves Stranger.
Good. Oh, nice, nice, nice.
And Jacob, wow, what a career you've had. I mean, just Doctor Sleep and Room. You're an incredible actor, but you both are great at voice acting. And I'm
Thank you.
wondering, well, because I come from voice actors, that's my family was all in
Oh,
that.
nice, nice.
Um, Gaten, I'll start with you.
Sure.
You hear rhythms and cadences in voice work when you do it?
I think sometimes they build. It depends. Part of me like gets scared of going in for voice acting initially because there is a learning period. There's a period where you discover your character and kind of figure out who they're going to be through with your director, with not usually with your fellow cast members because a lot of times you're not working with them. Thankfully, we got to record together, which accelerated the process of character development and helped us, at least to help me grow
Yeah.
in the role. And I think definitely there is rhythm to it. There's an ebb and flow, and you have to know when it's your time to really bring something big and dial it back. And you have the opportunity to do both, and that's what's so freeing about it. And we couldn't do it without Nora.
Yeah, she's absolutely amazing. Jacob, you do so well on the Harley Quinn show. I mean, as Robin, you're just a terrific voice actor.
Perfect.
Do you? Is it harder when? And I'm asking this to Jacob. Is it harder when there's nobody in the booth, or when you're bouncing off of somebody? Because they do it both ways now.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely harder with no one in the booth. I mean, working with Gain was just such a fun experience. And I mean, animation is so different from live action where you need to really learn how to just, I guess, like do it with your voice. Cause, in live action, you can obviously, move with your eyebrows and, use that. But in animation, you're a bit restricted. And to be able to work with someone else who's also playing a character with you, I think you just really become the character in the moment, and it's just all you're focusing on. And I think it was amazing. So I would definitely say that it's definitely easier to be able to work with someone in the space. And I hope that if I on my next animation project, I get to use this method because it was so special.
My Father's Dragon. Tell me a little bit about what attracted you to the script and what attracted you to the role.
What initially attracted me to the project as a whole was seeing the studio that was animating. I've been obsessed with Cartoon Saloon and their work for a very long time, and Nora's work specifically. And when it came through, it was an immediate no-brainer. I then found out he was working on it, and it just was. It's one of those where like it comes to you, and it's like there's not even a thinking process to it. Like you get it, you see the studio, you see the director, and you see your cast before you even read that script, and you're like, there's no way I'm not doing it. And then for it to be such a wonderful, rich script is just so, that's the icing on the cake of just such a wonderful moving project.
Jacob, was it hard to get into character for My Father's Dragon?
I think at the beginning, I think there's all for every movie, and especially animation, it's a bit more present. There's always that period where you're just kind of discovering your character and trying new things that will make him, different from others. So I think that about the first day was where you're really discovering it. And I don't know if they did the same for you, but I feel like I always will revisit the first scenes that we did now that we've really developed our character.
Yeah,
I
recommend that highly for a lot of voiceover stuff, because it's hard to know who you're gonna be when you first start, and then once you build it, it's good to go back once you've established
for sure
what's there.
Do the animators sit with you before you record and take little tells from you? I mean, do you see yourself in these characters when you've watched the final project? We'll start with Gaten.
Nora showed us some art concepts of what the plan was for our characters to look like going in, and we actually recorded most of our stuff before they started animating. They animated around the performances that we gave and recorded our faces. I didn't even know this until you talked about it, and then it clicked. I talked to Nora about it. They recorded our faces to understand what we were doing physically as well as vocally, and animated around that. So we were kind of going in blind a little bit, and that kind of added a real big sense of freedom. You could
Yeah.
make choices. You weren't bound to what was already made, because we were the first ones to try anything out, and these amazing animators had the tricky task of animating around what we provided for them, which blows my mind.
Jacob?
Yeah, I mean, I wish like the animators could be there in person. I mean, that'd be cool. I mean, we'd have like a whole party at that point. But yeah, it's really cool to be able to have that 100% creative freedom. And even like in the script too, like with the lines, like the lines were more of like guidelines than what actually to say. I feel like we really had that much freedom where we could change the line to whatever felt more comfortable in the moment. And we just got so used to doing that where it just really became our own.
Again, I'm going to give you the last word. What do you think audiences are going to take away from watching My Father's Dragon?
It's a very complex story. It's a very needed story. And I think what's wonderful is this is going to be a project where if you watch it when you're quite young, which is wonderful to do because it's visually stunning, and it's wonderful to see young characters being created and being so complex and learning themselves. And I think it'll teach so many young people, but I think as they get older, they will learn, they will study and learn the intricacies of this project, and it'll resonate so much more, especially if those people end up becoming parents one day.
Oh, thank you guys so much. And thank you for the characters that you've played. I mean, Dustin is such a iconic character now, and you must be so proud of that series, Stranger Things. And
oh, word! I thought you were talking about My Father's Dragon. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah.
But yes, you must be so proud of playing the dragon too.
Always.